So we've all heard of pro bono work, right? It's the legal profession's way of doing good. But what if the very system we use to measure all that good work is actually so broken that it ends up hurting the cause of justice? Well, that's the hidden and kind of shocking problem we're going to get into today.
And this is the core idea, isn't it? It's a noble one. The whole point is for lawyers to use their unique, powerful skills to serve people who desperately need legal help but just can't afford it. It's the ideal the entire system is supposed to be built on.
For as long as anyone can remember, the standard has been incredibly simple. How many hours did a lawyer volunteer? It seems logical, right? It's straightforward, easy to count up, and because of that, it's become the universal currency for doing good in the legal world.
But here's the big question we have to ask. What if counting hours doesn't just miss the point? What if it actively leads us down the wrong path? What if it creates a system that celebrates being busy over actually getting things done?
Okay, so let's break this down. Why exactly is this hours model so flawed? We're going to walk through 4 fundamental weaknesses that expose the whole thing.
So the first flaw, it all goes back to where this idea came from in the first place. The billable hour, where time literally equals money. But you know, justice isn't experienced in 6-minute increments. It's experienced in outcomes, in results. And just counting time spent is a really, really poor substitute for that.
I mean, this comparison says it all. A law firm could rack up thousands of hours doing work that, sure, is helpful, but it doesn't really touch the most urgent needs in a community. At the same time, just a fraction of those hours could be used to secure housing for dozens of families facing eviction. The system we have now rewards the activity on the left, not the incredible achievement on the right.
And you know, this focus on hours also paints a really misleading picture of who is actually doing the hard work. Firms can win awards for having high participation rates, where it seems like everyone is pitching in a little bit. But that often hides a much more troubling reality.
What happens is the system encourages lawyers to just dabble to get their pro bono credit. They just dip a toe in rather than diving deep into the messy, complicated, and urgent legal crises people are actually facing, like in housing or family law. And this means the heaviest lifting gets left to a small, totally overburdened group of lawyers, while the firm as a whole gets to brag about its high participation rate.
And look, this isn't just some abstract debate about spreadsheets and numbers. These flawed metrics have real, tangible, and often negative consequences for actual people and for the entire justice system.
By focusing on hours as this sort of voluntary gift of time, the system frames justice for the poor as a side project. It becomes a form of charity, and that lets the legal profession feel pretty good about itself without ever having to confront its core obligation to fix a system that is, let's face it, fundamentally broken and unequal.
92%. Seriously. Just take a second and let that number sink in.
That 92%, that's the massive justice gap in our country. And when the gap is that wide, celebrating the average hours per lawyer feels, as the source material puts it, kind of like scoring a basketball game while the whole house is on fire. It just misses the point entirely.
And here's what might be the most damaging flaw of all. This system, the one based on hours, actively punishes innovation. It's designed to reward time-consuming, one-on-one retail service instead of scalable, wholesale solutions that could actually help thousands of people at once.
Think about this for a second. A lawyer who spends 100 hours fighting a single, difficult case gets 5 times the pro bono credit as a lawyer who spends 20 hours building a tech tool that empowers thousands of people to fight their own eviction notices. The system is designed to reward that individual retail service while actually discouraging the wholesale solutions that could be a total game changer. Okay, so the system is clearly broken. We get it. But what's the alternative? Let's pivot from the problem to the solution and talk about a much, much better way forward. The solution really requires a complete mental shift. Instead of asking how much time did we spend, we need to start asking what did we actually accomplish. It's time to move from measuring inputs to measuring outcomes. And this brings us to what are called impact metrics. It's not about ignoring effort, not at all. It's about putting the results first. It means we start tracking things that actually matter to clients, like keeping a home, securing disability benefits, or helping launch a community program. Yeah, it's harder to count, for sure, but it gets us so much closer to the truth.
This gives us a whole new scorecard for justice. And it's so much more meaningful because it asks the right questions. Did we actually solve the client's problem? Was our work focused on what the community itself said was the most urgent need?
Was the work spread out fairly inside the firm, or did a few people do everything? Did we make our partner organization stronger? And maybe most importantly, did the client feel respected and empowered through the whole process? This is what good work really looks like.
So, a better system is absolutely possible, but it's not just going to happen on its own. It requires a fundamental shift in mindset, and it needs real commitment from the very top.
So if we can all agree that focusing on outcomes is way better than just counting hours, who actually has the power to change the system? Whose job is this?
Well, the responsibility really lies with the gatekeepers of prestige in the legal world. We're talking about the managing partners who decide what gets valued inside a firm, the bar associations that hand out all the awards, and yeah, the legal publications that create those super influential rankings. They're the ones who created the system we have now, and they're the only ones with the power to create a new one. And ultimately, that's what this all comes down to. It's a challenge, really, to the entire legal profession. If pro bono truly is the profession's conscience, then it's time to stop confusing effort with effectiveness. And it's time to start measuring what really, truly matters, the lives that have been changed.